session now. So our speaker today is Dr. Kamal Karunananda. He is joining with us now. So welcome you all to the third part of the YMS webinar number 2. So we have arranged this webinar to give an introduction to research methodology and the publication. So we have completed 2 sessions by now. Dr. Danushka discussed about how to do a literature review and find a topic and do the publication. And then Dr. Damayanti discussed about the tools and technique that you can use to do a good publication. And today, Dr. Kamal Karunananda will discuss about the ethics in publication and the things related to IESL involvement for this publication process. So let me first introduce Dr. Kamal to the audience and give the floor to him. Dr. Kamal Karunananda is a specialist in civil engineering with a focus on structural engineering. His research interest lies in the critical areas of bit safety and longevity, including fatigue and fracture of steel structures, and structural health monitoring and bridge engineering. He is also well known in the analytical hierarchy process, a valuable decision-making tool. Dr. Karunananda actively contributes to the engineering community in Sri Lanka and international. He holds membership in prestige organizations like Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science, the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka, and the International Association for Bridge Management and Safety. Notably, he played a key role in founding the Sri Lankan chapter of this International Association for Bridge Management and Safety. His leadership extends beyond membership. Dr. Karunananda served as the Honorary Secretary of the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka and the Head of Department of Civil Engineering in Open University of Sri Lanka. He has also consistently contributed to the field through editorial roles and currently serving as the editor of the Engineer Journal. Additionally, he has held leadership positions within Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Sciences. Dr. Karunananda's dedication to his field is further evidenced by his achievements. He has been recognized with the STNCC Award and the Prestige NASU Award for the Outstanding Foreign Postgraduate Student. So it is a privilege for us to have you today, Dr. Karunananda. And without taking much time, I would like to hand over the floor to you. Over to you, Dr. Kamal Karunananda.
Okay, good evening to all of you, and thank you, Dushant, for your long introduction on me. Okay, so we'll start today's discussion. Okay, so let me share the presentation. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes, Dr. Kamal,
okay.
We can see your presentation.
Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, so today actually we are starting as Engineer Dushant told. So this is actually my topics that I am going to discuss, share with you. Ethics in research. Okay, so broadly on the ethics on research, but okay, so let me go down. Okay, so this is webinar YMS webinar number 2, and actually the engineer Dushant told the first actually we discuss about the beyond basics. So on the YMS lecture 1 on the navigating success in research, and it was done by Dr. Danushka Lienage. Okay, so I think he explained about this selecting a research, then finding literature and organization of the paper. And yesterday, Dr. Damayanti Herath, actually, she presented about the steps of publication and tool to assist at each steps. So today, actually, I'll be focusing on mainly on the ethics in research, and tomorrow, I think, so we will have this getting it will be done by the Dr. Akila Vijayatunga. Okay, so it's on the getting support and the visibility to your research through the IEEE involvement there. Okay, so then now these are the things actually I am going to discuss with you today about the outline of presentation. This is about basically I will be discussing about the ethics in research. Okay, so what is research ethics mean? Okay, we then how it is evolved. Okay, so basic background of research ethics evaluation, and then research ethics for the young researchers. So what are the aspects that we have to look into when we talk about? I mean, when we go for the research publication. And also, I will be focusing on the IP, so the intellectual property rights thing, the copyright, and very briefly about the patent. And maybe some of you know about this is about the Creative Commons license there. And also, thirdly, we'll be discussing about the IESL publication avenue. Okay, basically the engineer journal one where I serve. And I will be sharing about the two published paper abstract. Okay, so actually the two papers which won the IESL awards last year and the year before there. Okay, then with that actually we will go there. Then what do you will we understand about what is ethics actually? The ethics and the research ethics. Actually, ethics are the generally it's the moral principles, that govern the person's behavior. Or simply, if you say it is what is good or bad there. So normally when we live, so there are some things that we understand, something good thing and something bad things. Okay, so this is about the which we call English we call the ethics there. Okay? And when it comes to the research ethics, it has also has the same meaning in the research context there. Okay, so it may be we can say it may be referred to as doing what is morally and legally right in the research there. So research actually, we know we have many parties there. Okay? So then we have to do some integrated work there. And so doing what is morally and legally right at the research is what we call the research ethics there. So it is concerned with the responsibility of the researchers to be the honest. Okay, so to be the honest and the respectful in the all individual who are involved in the research there. So we have to be honest and the respect. We have to respect to the all the individual authors. There are people who gather the data there. Then when we publish papers, reviewers there, publication companies are there. So for all those of things, so all one as a young researcher, so we have to be you have to be honest there. As a researcher, you have to be honest and respectful to the all individual there. And in the research study, and the research should not conflict. Basically, it should not conflict about any harm to the researchers as well as the research subjects there. So this is all. This is about the basic meaning of the research ethics there. Okay, so research ethics involves the application of the fundamental ethical principle. Okay, so ethical principle to the research activity, which includes actually the design and implementation of the research. So when we start the one, so we have to design our research work there. Okay, so maybe in the first lecture, Dr. Danushka explained on this one, design and implementation was state. And then the respect toward the society and the others. That is a very important thing. The respect toward the society and the others there. And the use of resources and the resources output. Okay, so resources output and the regulation of research. So these are the aspects. Now regulation means the publication step there. Okay, so in all these all these aspects, so we have to follow some morally and legally fundamental concept, so ethical concept. Okay, so this is actually what we call the basically the research ethics. Okay, so the why then we comes about why this research ethics are needed. Okay? So there are several reasons why it is important to adhere the ethical norm in the research. Okay? So basically the research actually we are going to work for the science, the progression of the science. Okay, so we are going to do research to increase our scientific understanding of some areas there. So then we have to we have to do the right thing there. We have to maybe we have to be truthful there, because people actually they will use our work there. Okay, so they will now whatever we publish, then based on that publication they will work on later on there. So if you do the wrong work there, so then the people will be misled there. The whole science will be on the in a difficult situation there. So this is the why actually the research ethics are needed, to provide the guideline for the responsible conduct of the research there. So we have to be provide the guideline for the responsible conduct of research, and educate all the people, the mentors, scientists, researchers conducting research to ensure the high ethical standard. And research ethics involve the application of the fundamental ethical principle to a variety of topic involved in the scientific research there. So that is why actually we have to we have to follow the research ethics very much there. Okay. So then let's discuss about how actually this research ethic concepts actually evolved. Okay. Actually, it arose due to the research work in the biomedical field. Okay, so not in engineering there, but it's mainly on the biomedical field. Okay, so where it had the research connection with the human there. Okay, so that was the point, the basic point, starting about this ethical concept came from the biomedical area. Okay, there are so many examples, but it's a very very well known one. Other two examples where the research ethics violation. So now we conduct some experiment. The scientists, the people, they conduct some research work violating the human dignity there. So there's two example. The human experiment with the African American black. Okay, we can't tell the black people. The African, the human experiment is a well-known one. So human experiment with the African American one, and very the reason about last century, the human experiment by the Nazis. It's a very one. Nazis in the concentration camp in the Europe by the Nazis during the World War II in 1939 to 45. There are a lot of Jews and other people. They experiment, and a lot of 1,000 people died there. 1,000 people died there, and actually this was the beginning point of the research ethics. Okay, so the first actually based on this all the violation of human dignity, then it's the Nuremberg Code in 1947. It was the first point where the research ethics things came into the world. Okay, so then about in Helsinki Declaration in 1964. Okay, so that's all the also another major step on developing the research ethics. But basically they are on the biomedical field. Okay, about but we can extract some good things about how to do research one to these code of codes there. Actually, it's called about the code. It is not this Nuremberg one. It's not a code of practice, something which like engineering, we know the design code of practice. It doesn't say, but it is some kind of a non-legal binding document, but it tells about a 10-point way of how we can preserve the research ethics there. Okay, but however much we work there, still I want to share with you, there are numerous ways of these research ethics violation, even especially coming with the biomedical field there. Okay. So, and now when it comes to the engineering, well, we have a lot of, we have a considerable one, the research ethics things with the environmental science there. Okay. And also in the social sciences, we have a quite large number of these research ethics related activities there. Okay, so then just I will share. I will not go through all this one. This is about this is about 1947. This well-known Nuremberg code there. So the Nuremberg, actually, it is in a city in Germany, and where this trial of these Nazi people were done after the World War II, and these American people, these military tribunal opened, and the criminal proceeding to the about a 23 German doctor, German physician, and who did some research work and experiment with the human there, and they all actually they and based on that one 10 point, okay, so 10-point code of ethics was published, and it's called about the Nuremberg code. Okay, so as a direct trial, the Nuremberg code was established in 1948, stating that the voluntary concept of the human subject is absolutely essential there. So making it clear, the subject should be give consent, and the benefit of the research must be outweighed with the risk there. So there are two important things here. The one thing is the subject. The subject mean the here actually it's mean about the human. Okay, so maybe you in our questionnaire survey, like even our field also we can take about the subject, the human human one, and they should know, and we should get their consent there, and for doing this kind of research. And the most important other important thing is that we should overweight the benefit or the risk there, whether we have to see whether we have to we get the benefit. We have to consider more than the there is a good study there we have to make, and the benefit of the research must be outweighed with the risk there. And although it did not carry the force into the law, and Nuremberg was the first international document which advocate this voluntary participation, and the first research ethics work there. And this is about the second one. It's a 1964 Helsinki Declaration. It's also another very corner. It's a very important document. It's a set of ethical principles regarding the human experiment and developed the original 1964. And actually, it is also not a legal binding document, but actually the people use, even it is not legally, or most of countries they adapted this one. Okay, so and there were several number of revisions on this area. Okay, so then there are about when it comes to this research ethics, okay, especially about the medical field. There are about basic seven steps there. Okay, seven steps there. That all these seven steps, some of them actually we can take into our engineering one also, our physical research. The one thing is, the first one is the social value. The second one is the scientific validity. Then the third one is the pair subject selection. Okay, and then the fourth one, the favorable risk to benefit ratio. And the fifth one is the independent review. And the sixth is the informed consent and the respect to the potential and the enrolled subjects there. Okay, so now some concept or steps actually we can use in our engineering study there. So, okay, so then I will show here the scientific validity. Okay? So actually the study should be designated in a way that is an understandable answer to the important research question there. So in engineering also, when we do a research, actually the research one, the study should designate in a way to get the understandable answer to the important research question. So we do the research because there is a problem there. Maybe like applied type one, or maybe like a fundamental type. There exists some problem there. So our scientific study should be designated in such a way to get that answer from that one. This includes the considering whether the question asked are answerable. So we have to think about whether we can get a kind of a answer there, whether the research methods are valid and feasible there. So we have to think, okay, so and whether the study is designated with the accepted principle there, or clear method and reliable practices there. So this is a scientific validation there. So now if you don't do one, the invalid research is unethical, because it will be the waste of the all resources there. Okay, maybe like so many, even engineering one, if you do the if you got the wrong path, we will not get an answer to the our research question, but at the end of the day we will waste the money. Okay, so then there will be waste of resources there. So it is unethical there. Okay, so maybe some money coming from the company, or the maybe in Sri Lankan, maybe some income of the government one. So we spend the money without doing without answering the basic research question. So maybe our research methodology is false there. It's not valid. It's not feasible there. Maybe we are not doing not enough experiment there. Maybe our data analysis techniques are wrong there. So these things, as even young engineer, young researchers, we have to be very mindful. Okay, so it's one very important ethical consideration. So when we have the research question, when we design our research everything, so we have to very carefully, we have to look into the matter, or look into the problem. Okay, so overall, then okay, so then okay, so then the next one is actually the next one is the independent review. That's a very important thing. To minimize the potential conflict of interest, make sure the study is ethically acceptable before it starts. An independent review panel should review the proposed work and ask the important question. So normally, well, if you do the research in the universities, some universities, we have this kind of a panel there. Okay. Now maybe some maybe we have the conflict of interest there. Okay, so then all this panel, actually they have to see about the whether it is ethically acceptable before it start there. Are those conduct or the trial is sufficiently free of bias there, and whether is the study doing it all and protect the research participant there, at the trial or ethically designated, and the risk to benefit favorable there. So these sort of things, actually these sort of things we have to well, the panels, or maybe we have to independently we have to review. Maybe we can give something, our research one, we can give to some mentor or something. Then we can ask about whether this is whether it's a practical, whether there are some conflict of interest work there, whether my well experiment is enough there. Because if you have the not enough data, that will lead to the different one. Your statistical things analysis, maybe if you do well, it will be wrong there. We'll come up with the different answers there, wrong answers there. So the independent kind of a review is very important in the research, and it is one kind of ethical things that we have to do. Okay, so then these are the, well, we all know these are the people associated with the research ethics. Okay, so actually these are a few maybe I have missed there, but maybe these are people. We have the authors, co-authors, and we have the research organization, universities there, then industry people such as maybe if you do medical one, or maybe some other private company, then reviewers there, journal editors there, the publication companies there, and many people are there. So there are different standards. So for ethical one, as their involvement in a different stage, at different ways. Let's say, for example, like a third one and the fourth one, the reviewers and the journal editor there. Then they have the in world, actually we have the guideline. You can't well, the reviewers, they are not the lords. They are the journal editor, they are not the lords. There are some morally or legal principle, research ethics there. So that's actually governed by the COPE. See, COPE means the committee on the publication of ethics there. Okay, it is a European non-profit organization, and it will give you the. I will later share. There are some standard guidelines. Okay. Okay, so different people, so they have the different ways of research ethics are involved there. Okay, so then when it comes to the ethical principle for the engineering research, okay, so the one thing is the voluntary participation, informed consent, and the one. Now, if you have the some people, one people participating, even the authors or co-authors there, then actually they contribute. They should contribute voluntarily. You are research, maybe you have some, maybe you have research many people there, maybe you maybe have some people you are getting some people data there, maybe social science, maybe like that one. So maybe questionnaire survey there, but so the participation, author or the people who participate there, they should know what we are going to do with them, those data we are going, and okay, so this voluntarily participate, it should not be the host participation there. Okay, so this Nazi camp, actually the people didn't know they are participating. They didn't know, but the Nazis actually they did the experiment there. And then about this privacy, anonymity, and the confidentiality, we have to protect. Then we have to beneficiaries, the promotion, the well-being. So this study had to be the it should have the maximum benefit, and also it has to be the auto, and based on the one we should make about the the own decision there. If our decision should not be based on the any other thing. Okay, so it should not be based on the okay, so and also it has to have the integrity there. Okay, so these are the things actually, ethical principles in the engineering research. Okay, so then the voluntarily, if I tell about more on the voluntary participation, the subjects must agree to reveal information about themselves and their project organization. So when we take some questionnaire survey, some data, so we should give all data, and what we do with those data, subject must be able to provide the informed consent. Behavior observed in the public setting is assumed to imply the agreement being in one. In the subject contact after being observed in the public setting must be informed they were observed in the public setting. Material sample and used in the commercial testing may not be included in the research one. Basically, it will tell you about the participation. It has to be the voluntary one. We should tell about everything associated with that one. Okay, so then I'll go with that. Then these are the some areas where the research misconduct is very important. Research misconduct or the research ethics violation. Okay, the first thing is the plagiarism. Okay, then next one, second one is fabrication and falsification. Then third one is the non-publication of data. Okay, and faulty data gathering procedures, poor data storage and retention, and misleading authorship, and sneaky publication practices. Okay, so I will go one by one. Okay, so even now, if you go with this Elsevier one, they will give you these guidelines where the on the ethically one principle. When you have this authorship dispute, deliberately misrepresenting the scientist or relationship to the work there. Okay, so then conflict of interest, plagiarism, and simultaneous submission, research fraud, and slicing the research work. Okay, now if I go here again back to here, the plagiarism actually you take somebody else's work and you tell it is your own. So that is about basically the research ethics violation. Then the fabrication or the falsification. So you change your data in such a way that some of the experiment data you change it. Then non-publication of data is also a research misconduct, okay, or research ethics violation. Now, if you draw, maybe when you get some experiment, you will maybe you draw some graph, but some data outside there. So then you don't get those data into the your one. You don't publish those. Okay, so those you get the data that you can write. You can draw the some good graph there. So this data actually we call the cooking data. Okay, so you disregard some of the data there. Okay, that's basically the one area where research ethics violation. Then faulty data and gathering procedures. So you do some wrong data gathering technique or procedure. Then poor data storage and retention there. That is also one kind of research ethics violation there. If somebody asks, then you must be able to produce those data there. Maybe reviewer, they would ask about, will ask about some of the data they want to see. But so then that time you should be able to produce it there. Okay. And misleading authorship, this is a very important thing. I think I have a slide on that one. This misleading authorship and the sneaky publication practices there. Okay, maybe you have some maybe you have some close connection with the some way. So then with the some publication company, so then you sneak the so those publication practice, and then you get publish your paper there. So these are the basically the research ethics violation. Okay, so then now this is the yeah, I'm sorry, this is the who is the author. Now when it comes to the research, so who is the author? Actually the author is the substantial contribution to the conception of or the design of the work, or the acquisition or analysis and the interpretation of data for the work, and also he has to draft in the work for reviewing, and it critically important for the intellectual content, and also final approval of the version to be published there. So agreement to accountable for the whole aspect of the work, ensuring the question related accuracy and the integrity of any part of the work are appropriately investigate and resolved. They are basically someone who involved from the zero to the A to Z there in your publication there. Okay, so then okay, so this is actually the meaning of the author there. In addition to being accountable for the parts of the whole work, an author actually should be able to identify which co-author are responsible for the specific part of the work there. In addition, the author should have a confidence in the integrity and the contribution of the co-workers there. So basically, as you can see, the substantial contribution for the conceptualization. That's a very important in the research one. It's a conceptualization of your work, research problem. Understand that work involved, and the acquisition. You take, you collect and analyze and interpretation of the data for the work. So this is the basically the research work, and then he has to involve drafting the work and reviewing it critically for the important intellectual content. Then the final approval version. Yeah, okay. So this one, this is how the actually the author mean the author actually defined there. Okay, so now when you have the publication, actually, well, you will come across these things, actually the misleading authorship one. Now, who should be an author? Now, normally, the technicians who do this experiment, actually, they do not necessarily become the joint author there. Maybe you are laboratory, you have the technician, but you don't need to put their name as an author, but they do. Authorship should involve only those who contribute directly. And now, before you are any work, actually, it is very important to discuss this authorship before any project. So, if you have like say like few maybe university, maybe some two many people work there. So then this authorship you have to discuss before the project, and which level the project actually we have the so this authorship one there, maybe project actually if it is a very large one, then maybe some few part segregate it. Then this one we will work with you like that. So some kind of a discussion of the authorship before the project is very essential there. And very importantly, I think this is actually we have to all know So there are three types of authorships are considered be the unacceptable there. Okay, that's we call the also research ethics violation. So what are those authorship? One thing is the ghost author. Okay, ghost author. Now, who contribute? Now, ghost author means the who contribute substantially, but they are not acknowledged. So they don't know. Finally, the paper is published there. Okay, so they are thing. Even Sri Lanka also we have this sort of a thing. The ghost authors who contribute substantial work is done, but his name is omitted when the publication is done there. So this is called the ghost author. Okay, ghost author. Then we have actually this research ethics violation. So the people who publish actually they should not avoid the people who contribute directly there. So they should include, but there are some people are omitted. So then we call such author was the ghost author there. So then actually then we have the kind of a guest authors. Guest authors mean the who make no desensible contribution but are listed to help the increase the chance of publication there. Now, sometimes people actually do the publication, they include some very prominent people. Okay, so they don't, but the prominent people actually he even doesn't know. Okay? But because of his high research, I mean the input research, I mean the very recognition among the field, so people actually put his name there. Okay, so this one we call the guest authors. Okay? And by having that kind of authors, actually, what happened? The people trying to increase the chance of the publication. Okay, so this is actually we should avoid there. Okay? And then other one are the gift authors. Okay? The whose contribution is based solely on a teacher's application with the study there. So maybe somebody he's a very particular area. He's a very study very prominent there. So then he put him there, but he even doesn't contribute. Okay? So these are the three authorships. Okay? Ghost author one, guest author, gift author one. So actually these authorships actually we should avoid when you publication one doing the publication when you start the work. So we should not use those things. Okay, so it is why that is why we have to discuss the authorships before the any project or any one starting. Okay, then actually the one another well the non-publication of data, non-publication of data we call sometimes we call the cooking data. So the data not included in the result because they don't support the desired outcome. That's a very research. I mean the very serious research misconduct. So the data not included in the results because they don't support the desired outcome. But the science actually, I think it's a science is always evolving one. We don't have the new theories come where the previous theories goes up there. Okay, so then actually we should not hide this data there. We should not hide this data. The data should not we should not hide the data. Okay, data not include in the result because they don't support the desired outcome or the standard current practice there. Okay, so actually now my area now I think Dushant told my area is a fatigue and fracture of steel material, but in a fatigue and one actually start in about 1870s by the Hola in the German railway engineer, but there were many theories, and 1960s there was one very prominent German researcher called the Elber, and he told about this crack closure, some very important phenomena where it was a very I mean the something that goes against the those days knowledge. Okay, so but he anyway somehow other way with the great difficulty he published there. But this crack closure phenomena is a now well established one. So this is a very important one. The data, not all the data we have to include in our work there. Maybe you don't know, you can logically tell about someone, but something the data one, but you should not the data not include in the result because we should not on the data that will give the outcome, the clear outcome there. Okay, so the bad data should be recognized while it is being collected or analyzed there. So you have to tell it. You have to tell it. Say maybe maybe this data is wrong or something, but you based on some logical reasoning, you have to come up with this analytical. This is one. Then the reviewer will see, and then so this publication things will go on there. And then the outliers, unrepresentative score, score lies outside the normal values. Then how we can treat these outliers? Some maybe we have about statistical methods, and we remove these outliers. Okay, so this is now since all our experiment actually based on the based on this data. So the carefully handling of this data is a very important thing. So some important point on the experiment actually, they have to be must be repeatable. So all now if you do one engineering, I think we don't know about civil and but environment people will do about the experiment there. Okay? So this experiment actually has to be basically the Western science. Actually, the experiment must be repeatable there. So that is there. So you should get the value. Then you should do it again, and you should get the repeat value there. Okay? And we must repeat them and must be able to get the same results. Okay? An experiment actually must be based on the sound mathematical background. In our research, this research one actually this experiment it should be based on some mathematical principle. I mean some logical reasoning there. So if you don't do that one, it is because we will have the resources. Well, we will spend there. Maybe we will not get the desired output there. So it will be again the unethical work there. Unplanned experiment will waste your resources. So it will be so as I told you, it will be the waste of the research. The ethics violation. Okay, so then another one is actually the citation of the others' work. So that is nowadays actually we see people actually don't cite properly. Literature review is actually the is a convention we are using the author in most field of the research when preparing the manuscript there. Literature provide the editors and actually the literature review provide the editor and review an opportunity to examine the past and the current research trend that have led the current authors to make the certain assumption in the proposal there. So I think in the first two lecture, they have actually explained you the research actually is like a funnel starting from the bigger one and coming to the your area sharply. Research we call the research flow there. So then when you are doing that one, you have to cite your work properly there from a chronological order. The X did that one, Y did this one, but Y has this problem, then the Z has to go went on this way and like that you have to cite there. So then this proper citation of is a work very important because it will allow the reviewers and the editors to see your work there and the logical reasoning, the basic cornerstone of the any research actually is there. People will oh he has done that one, oh he has gone this one, oh so then he okay so then the reviewer understand the research problem very clearly if you cite our work in a proper manner there. Probably sometime if you don't do that one, then the reviewers tell you, well, there are some work related to this area. Why didn't you make it there? Okay, so thus the previous studies are used to provide the support for an author's proposed rationale for the research study there. Okay, so in order to assess the validity of the cited study, editors and reviewer must have opportunity to review the original source of material if necessary there. So if you put that one, then the reviewers editor will check that one, and then maybe they will read. Actually, they will very high impact. Then they review that papers also. So then they understand the real problem, the essence of the research work. Inaccurate citation can be a significant barrier for this process. So if you inaccurately, haphazardly, if you put your citation, so then it will give you a negative things. Okay, so then it is not not ethical to avoid the proper citation. More relevant citation mean the more chance for the favorable review process. So you will understand actually that if you do this research ethics, actually it will help the opportunity. It will increase, it will enhance the our research publication ability. So okay, then next one is this plagiarism one. So plagiarism is the intentional taking of another person's work and claiming it's as the your own or your own one. So this practice actually we see everywhere. This practice has not been observed not only among students at the every level, but also among the academic, administrator, professional research publishing in peer-reviewed journal there. So, but nowadays we have a plagiarism software and we can check on this one. But the practice of plagiarism is the form of academic high treason because it undermines the entire scholarship enterprise. So, according to the it's a kind of if you have the laws in this research one, it is a very high. I mean, it's a high. This plagiarism comes at the very, the high treason, very high risky. Now, say in one in low context. Now, if you in Sri Lankan law context, if you work against the government, it's a very the highest number of criminality. If we say if you if you print some notes, if you print some money notes, so then it is you go against the government. That's a high value of a high criminal case. Now, in a similar research context, this plagiarism is also considered as the very high kind of things. So high treason because it undermines the entire scholarly enterprise. So the honesty. The basic thing in the research is the honesty. It violate one, and you take somebody else's work there. So we should avoid these plagiarism issues when you work plagiarism one. Okay, so then the conflict of interest there. Conflict of interest issues highlight the potential for the authors to compromise the research integrity and the bias how the research is conducted there. Actually, so say like I work in some, for example, I work in some kind of concrete company. Then I do some research work related to the concrete with my company there. Then I published some data one there. So maybe but maybe you have some conflict of interest there. So your work, you are my company and I something of my so and then you will give some result out. So these sort of things are the conflict of interest there. So then this so we have to think the conflict of interest issues highlight the potential for the authors to compromise the research integrity there because of conflict of interest there. Maybe even some getting bad data because of my working company. Maybe I will not I will not publish those data. It will compromise the research integrity there. Why? Because I am working on that company there. So maybe there's some potential for the authors to compromise the research integrity and the bias on the how research is conducted from the deciding what research question to pursue. Maybe we can some question we can set it and how data is analyzed and interpreted. So because there will be a biasness on these aspects there. So the editors, reviewers, and ultimately readers are better served if they can better assess the objectively the validity and the credibility of the research author there. So then we have to tell about the we have to avoid this research conflict of interest. So many research journals have the established policies for the authors disclosing the conflict of interest, and this conflict of arises when you work in the most usually when you work in the applied type research where you have some commercial type value. Okay, so dealing with the then next one is the dealing with the missing data. So the phenomena of missing data is a fairly common. This is not about this bad data thing. Most of the time actually we don't have the data. The missing with the dealing with the some kind of dealing with the missing data. The phenomena of missing values are fairly common observed. And when conducting the research, we have actually, it can be rare for the researcher to collect the all intended data from the each and every cases. So many times cases are dropped when the data missing one or variable there. So it is helpful for the research to provide the information of what data values are missing and why they are. And maybe when you do experiment, you can tell us this data was not done, could not done there. Okay, so some these practical problem, machine issues there. Maybe so this missing data you have to tell it there. Okay? So these are the basically the research type ethics there, and I will go with this. This is about intellectual property things. So the intellectual property actually it's a legal term that refers to the creation of the mind there. Now we have the properties. Maybe we have the land, we have the cars, and then we have building, and so those are we can see. But the human wisdom. And from the wisdom to the knowledge, intellectual capacity, they design some equipment. So they design some new processes there. New process. So this is something comes with the human wisdom, human intellectual capacity. So this is actually we call about the intellectual property right. But if you see the history, actually it's like a 500, 600 years from the ancient Venice, we had this intellectual property things came, but later on also the UK and people have established. Okay, so under intellectual property laws, the owners of the intellectual property are granted the certain exclusive right. Some common type actually the copyright things. Then we have the patents. So the industrial design rights, the rights for the protect trademark. Trademarks also it's a trademark also comes under the intellectual property, trade dress, and in some jurisdiction in the trade secrets there. So intellectual property rights themselves form a property and call the intangible property. Intangible. So you can't physically, you can't see, you can't touch it there physically. But it is the human wisdom, something based on the human wisdom there. Okay, so then in Sri Lanka, actually, we have the Act number 36 of 2003 actually deal with this intellectual property right. And copyright, patents, and trademarks actually comes under this intellectual properties one. The patent actually we know, maybe you know about maybe some. So patent is a type of IP, gives the owner the legal right to exclude the others from making, using, selling, and intervention of the limited period of time in exchange of the publishing and enabling the disclosure of the invention. Maybe like 10 years, 20 years. So we give you the whole authorship there, and nobody has the right there. Okay, so different patent types are there. Maybe you have equipment, design processes, and so forth there. Then the copyright things actually we have this when we publish one, we give our copyright, all the rights to the company there. And so if you publish with this high impact journal, well, Elsevier, and then we'll give the right to them, and then they do some business and all this one. So you can't do it, but whole authorship, everything actually is given to the publishing company there. But in a way, they will give you some publicity to your work there, and so they make the profit, and you get this recognition. Okay. Normally, you will not. The more like Elsevier one, well, some big journal. Actually, then our part of the world, well, the subscription, even the other countries also, the subscription fees are very expensive there, very expensive there. So then people have come up with the nowadays, well, not nowadays, but about 10, 20 years ago, something people came with this USA company, the Creative Commons license, Creative Commons license there. So they don't use about the copyright thing. They allow people to use their work, and then based on your work, well, they allow, sometimes they allow to work on the your principle, your work, and so even some commercial value there. So there are 6 types of Creative Commons license. Creative Common is the American company. So Creative Common one, there are 6 one: CC BY, CC BY, SA, CC BY, NC, CC BY, NC, SA, BY, ND, NC, and ND there. So these have the different types of copyright things. Copyright things. Maybe the first one actually here, CCBY, the most liberal one, and this the 6th one, CCBYNCND one, is the kind of a more, I'm having the highest copyright things. So if you place it in this line, so this PY mean that you attribute, you acknowledge the people, you use the somebody else work, but you allow reuse, and you acknowledge his work there. Then this CCBY, CC, the second one from the CC, the attribute share alike. Based on this, you have somebody work, so you attribute, and then you work on that one, and you make a new one there. But you cite it at the previous one. That is about a share alike. Then attribution, no derivative. You attribute, but there is a no, it's not allow any derivative there. Then attribution and the non-commercial one. Then attribution, non-commercial and share alike. And the beginning one, you have you have to attribute, but you can't use in the any commercial things, and also there is a no further work. You can't work on the that work. Okay, so the right, sorry, leftmost corner is the most, I mean, the having the copyright on all right reserved one, and then to the right side one, you have the all right. I mean, it's like a public domain. People can use it. Okay, so this our IESL journal also comes as the CCBY one. As I remember, well, it's like a CCBY. So you cite it and you work it, and then if you one, but you cite the work. Okay, so then this is about what is the CCBY. Sorry, this is first one is the CCBY. The license enable enable the reusers to distribute, remix, adapt, and build upon the material in any medium or format, so long as attribution is given to the creator. The license allow for the commercial use. CCBY include for the following element. Actually, it gives you the commercial work also. Okay. Actually, it is the CCBY, not sorry, SA there. SA means the share alike. This license enable the reuse to distribute, remix, adapt, and build upon the material any medium and format, so long as the attribution is given to the creator. License allow the commercial use. If you remix, adapt, and build upon the material, you must license the modified material. Okay, you must license the modified material under the identical term. That means that your previous one. Okay, so previous version, the original version there. Okay, so that's there. Then these are the this is actually the I have put that one also. It's an interesting one. When it comes to the reviewers, so the journal publishing people, well, there is a standard. That's we call the COPE of publication ethics. It's a very useful site. If you type it Google COPE, then COP, then this comes about this Committee on Publication Ethics there. So there are, even we are not, maybe we are not reviewers or journal editors there, but what the journal editors, what the common, this committee expect from the journal editors and the reviewers are there. And some example are given. So very important, and if you read that one, so well, your publication process actually, well, so your research work will be in, it will help you. Okay, so it's about it's a non-profit European organization established in 1997 by a team of editors in this top class journal. Then over the years, actually, it involved and different aspects they have been doing. Okay, so these are the basically the things that they are actually look in a research ethics point of view. Okay, so this allegation of misconduct, authorship and contributionship, complaints and appeal, and conflict of interest, and data and reproducibility and ethical oversight, intellectual property, journal, how the journal management. This will give the journal manage, how you should manage the journal, and then the peer review policy is a very important one. How you should do the peer review, and the post publication process and your publication ethical cases. So this way, but if you read that one, so then they can understand. So you can enhance the your research thinking. Okay, so then when it comes to the IESL, well, if I tell you about IESL, so we know about IESL. It was established in 1968 under Act number 17, and it was amended in 1996 as the engineering organization. And at the onset, we have been asked about the 10 of the government of Sri Lanka expect from the IESL 10 objective. And the third objective is to promote the study of engineering and to encourage the original research with the view to facilitate the scientific and economic development and the conservation of the resources in Sri Lanka. So even, I mean, the IESL has been entrusted by the government of Sri Lanka to do the research in engineering and to the original research with the view to facilitate the scientific and economic development of the country, and also for the conservation of the resources in Sri Lanka. Okay, so toward that objective, actually the IESL, we have IESL, we all belong there. We have actually, there are three pieces of publication. We have the SLEN there, Sri Lanka Engineering and News. Then we have the annual transaction. Then we have the engineer journal. Okay, so the journal actually, we start from 1973, and now we have about 4 issues per year: January, April, July, and October issues. Okay, so these papers are published in 2 categories under the original research work, and the section 2 is the practical engineering application, which are interest to the practicing engineers. Okay, so our review process actually is the double-blind review process there. Now the review process, you have the open review. The open review means the reviewers know who is the author there. Then we have the single one there. Then the double-blind review process means actually the reviewer doesn't know the author, and also the author doesn't know about the reviewer there. Okay, so usually we will get, now I will tell you, if you get some university exam paper, we will not put any one from our reviewers are in the university X. So we'll put the university Y and university Z, or maybe some industry there. Okay, so that's how our research one there. And we have the awards of like SDNACC award, and for the associate membership of, I think, less than 35 years old. I'm not so much clear about this. IESL award, we have the corporate members of about 40 years, 40 or 45 years. But it's basically the SDNCC award go for the associate members, and the IESL award go for the corporate members, so the members. Okay. Then the annual transaction, so we have the EOE Pereira award there. So this is well, I extracted from the two journal papers. Now this paper last year, I think, well, IESL award, this one. Okay, so this is about the some on the civil engineering one. Just I will talk. It's about the comparative study in the wind code and application to the 46 storied wall frame structure. Okay, just I will go through, and I will explain about this salient features of this one, and why it is actually the one, as I understand. Okay, so I am not a reviewer, but as I understand why it is a wonder, these reviewers, I mean, they got good marks. There is a start from the wind is a random movement of air particle in both time and the space there. So you start from very big one. Okay, so you don't come to the you are this 46 story or not anything else, but not about this mathematical calculation. One start, one persistent one, very general one. You start about wind is a random movement of air particle in both time and space there, which produce very complicated dynamic loading scenario on a flexible structure like tall building there. Okay, so then you have this comma there, which produce a very complicated dynamic loading scenario on a flexible structure like a tall building. So by the moment when you come to this full stop here, well, you understand all the things that he is going to do. Okay. Okay, so the wind is a random movement, air particle, they are there. Then next one, the modern tall buildings are becoming more slender, flexible, lightweight, and irregular in shape due to the revolution of the associated technologies there. Now, then he comes to the modern tall building. He tell about the modern tall building are becoming more slender. It's going up and there, and more flexible and lightweight there. So the consequently, because of that one, third one, he tell the consequently the analysis of tall building, considering the complicated nature of the wind loading and the dynamic response of the structural system is an important role in the designing of the tall building. So he comes to, because of that one, we have to study that one. We have the very complex loading, then everything, these slender things coming there, very nowadays people do learn, then it is a analysis one is a very important there. So he gradually coming into his problem. Okay, wind tunnel. Now then he tells about the wind tunnel test is the most reliable tool for the estimation of dynamic wind loading on the tall building. So he tell about the generally what is available things. Wind tunnel test is a most reliable one there. However, now he comes the however. Now what's the why he can't apply this wind load tunnel to his work, and now he's telling that. However, due to the associated cost and the time involved, because of this problem, wind design code are generally used during the preliminary design stage there. Because of this high cost time there, we may be like this analytical one is a computer power needed. You take a lot of time and money there. Wind design code are generally used during the use in the preliminary design stage. Thus, understanding the background of the dynamic wind loading and the procedures to adapt the wind design standard to present the dynamic is important to arrive at the efficient safe there. So he is delivered the research why we have to do this type of work there. He comes with the research problem starting from the bigger area, come there and narrow down and what is the current one, then what people are doing there. Then he tells this paper present an overview of the background of the dynamic wind loading and provision in the four load there. Now he told actually people don't wind tunnel testing are the very big one, but unfortunately we can't use that one. So most people do the codes there. And then he tells about this paper present an overview of the background of the dynamic wind loading and provision of the four international wind code frequently referred in Sri Lanka. There are British code, European code, and these four codes are given there. The concept of equivalent, now the very special things of his work is given there. The concept of equivalent static load derived based on the Gus factor method adapted in the most of the international design code are discussed. So the demanding point he is telling at the end, 46-story well-framed structure was used as a numeric example for the explanation of the dynamic wind loading at influence for the structural design there. So he tells about finally the outcome of So he has actually the when you read that one, well, my background is a civil background, so I understand. So all the things starting from bigger one, coming narrow down, what is the current method, the problem of current method, what he does and what type of work he has done, and finally what kind of outcome he has come up there. So that is all clear there. So that is why now if you write a very concise writing there, then the reviewer understand. So usually reviewers actually, they look at the initially your abstract there. I think the previous presenter must have told you. So usually when even we get it, we see the part of what's abstract there. We understand abstract. It has to be the it should not be supported with any reference work, no any numerical work, but only the qualitatively work is presented there. Okay. Now, if you see here, now this red color one in the one area. Now we can think about how we can improve there. The one red color area is actually the one area where we can further improve. Now, normally we don't write. Normally, I don't know. People writing style vary, but the word like a very, we don't write it. Okay, so it's just a normal way. But which produce very, it's a very vague one. Very, how very, how like you tell the tall or big. Now something like this adjective. When it comes to scientific or writing, well, you have to be very precise there. The words actually used have to be very precise there. So here the word like a very, well, it is a not good word. Very complicated. Perhaps you can which produce a complicated dynamic one there. Now, the moment when you tell about the very, so you become a kind of bias there. Okay, very mean that you tell complicated, but it is a very there. Why very? So it's like you giving the outweigh. I mean, the giving the weight there. Complicated one, very there. So it's not a very. I mean you can think on some area. Okay, so then these are actually the the reviewers, what he has written there to reviewers there. Just I will share because you all learn. It was mentioned. Give the more information of the wind tunnel test to get the understanding of the experimental work. Maybe his work there. Critical error in the number of there, but generally what you write actually the hit something like a typographical mistakes. Normally, when they write, normally reviewers write, most of time they write about your English is not good. That is a practice. Even you write is the international one. Well, they write is like your English is not right there. So when you get this type of, I mean, the people like, well, you have to think, well, you should think, but you should not be discouraged because of your language is well, some previous still it's not there. You have to you have to rethink, but it is a usual one. People write like your writing skill is not good. There are a lot of typographical. Maybe you should definitely you should see, but what I mean is that you should not be discouraged. The important thing you should be discouraged there. Okay, so that's there. Okay, then this second one is one actually is manuscript contain very interesting aspects, and the results are very important. High-rise building practice in commercial Sri Lanka. Authors have compared quantitatively in the four wind design in a record in the world and compare the wind tunnel test results. Review is very happy to accept the paper for the possible publication. Their reviewers has annotated a few minor comment and formatting errors in the paper attached here for a possible consideration for publication there. Okay, so that's how he has written to reviewer there. Then this is come from the electrical one. This is a previous year, I think, I can't remember. It is IESL award or any OSD, I can't remember. This is about a E-alert, a sensor for detecting elephant intrusion at the boundary villages. So it's let's see how it's written there. Human elephant conflict take hundreds of human and elephant lives every year. Well, it's a good one. Start. It's a good one. Human conflict takes. He doesn't come to his research, but it's a general statement. Okay, so human one that's everybody knows. Starting from where everybody knows. Everybody knows a general. Then slowly you accompany the reader to your problem. Okay, so the human elephant conflict take 100 of human and elephant live every year. Though there are many techniques or system adapted in African Asian country to mitigate this one, none of them have provided the sufficient or efficient solution there. Now he tells about there are solution. Well, but the available facility, they will not give you the efficient solution there. Now, when he read that one, then you arouse the reviewer or the reader, then there is some method we need to have, because he tells, well, you have technique, African, well, you have a lot of elephant and these things, but there are things, but they don't work there. The success of modern HEC, human elephant conflict mitigating system, heavily depend on its capability to detect the presence of the elephant there. Now he tells about the success of modern one, actually based on the capability there. The present one, the things, the characteristic there. In most exercises, there are superior accuracy of detecting an elephant presence is limited. Now he tells all that, like in previous one, the present system there, but present system, these characteristics there, but they are very limited. There are some problems, are limited by certain conditions, such as ability to capture the good quality image contained in the elephant there. In this paper, we propose an alternative elephant detection there. Okay, but when you come here, you understand this is a very big problem, lot of one there, and those existing methodology, these are the characteristics, but these characteristic has not worked there. Something we have to think on the different way there, different line of thinking there. Okay, so in this paper, we propose an alternative elephant detection system which use the odor of the elephant, urine, and ear flap sound as the detection parameter, and also the support vector classification for the decision there. So the what he does, the system, the characteristic he's explaining there. Okay, the proposed system can produce the higher accuracies in detecting the wild elephant present in about a 35-meter radius there under the under all conditions. Thus, the proposed system is much more superior over the existing elephant detection system and will be an effective tool to mitigate the HEC there. So this is how yes, because basically it's a very good one. You understand the problem, the present one, technique problem, and what he is going to do, and the limitation, even here, the limitation of the present one. And so this is also, I mean, so it's a good writing there. The one area, well, we can use it is like a much more superior. So something word like this proposed system is a much more superior. So you over exaggerate your work. So my one is the best one, not others one. But it's all. So this is thinking. So usually now normally you have to write this is you have to in a different way. The proposed methodology use a better accuracy results. Because of this reason, it has shown about so the present one has given so something we should not emphasize so much. So you here you you overpower, you give the more weight for the publication. I mean your method there. The proposed system is a much more superior. You should not, I mean just say we cannot tell about much more superior there. So it is a very long way away, such a work. So here actually he has proposed one, and then if you tell about a very much more superior one, there are three words: much more superior, there, more there, and much also there, much more superior. So you have to do the very long, I mean very extensive work. Maybe like African countries also you have to do. Maybe like Asian, other Burma and other country also you have to do. Okay, so this is anyway basically this is also I mean the kind of a very good writing of the abstract there. And so you start from the bigger one, comes to the narrow down like a funnel, and you come to the UR one, and one and all this thing discuss, and then you give the solution there. Then reviewer understand. Well, he has done a very good study there. So he clear when you read that one, well, many people die. Then African countries are there, and the characteristic we understand. Oh, but it's not work. Why it's not some problem there. But so here we are doing a novel this one novel technique, and well it has about a 35 degree, 35 radius there. So it's give the kind of a essence of all what you have done there. Okay. Okay, so this is a okay. So this is actually I share with you. Then this is about adequate the findings published there, and then this is like you'll get. Usually reviewers tell about reviewers. They'll write like some reviewers. If you get like a more, they write long sentences there. But you should not be young researchers. You should not be discouraged. People write me in there. He understand me. Maybe some of his well, it will improve and it will give the further areas of research work there. So you should get that in spirit there, and that is the basic essence of the research ethics. So basic essence of the research ethics there. You take it as positively, and maybe come up with more area. What he telling there. Okay, so that's all from my side. So thank you very much. Tushanta. Okay, so thank you very much. So if you have any questions, actually we can share. You can ask me. Okay, so I'll.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Dushanta. Yes.
Dr. Kamal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. Okay, Dr. Kamal, we can spend some time for the question and answers. If not,
Okay.
so we'll wait some time for the questions. If not, I think one message request came up from asking the video recording and the presentation. Yes, we can share the presentation with the approval of the speaker, and this was a live recording, so the recording will be uploaded to the IESL web, YouTube. That's for sure.
Yeah, you can use, no problem. There is slides actually you can use. Yeah, I think Dushant, no problem.
Okay. So members, if you don't have any questions right now, we can wind up the session. And if you have any questions in future, we can make this connection ahead, and we can put your questions to Dr. Kamal. There is no issue about that. And as for the formality, I should thank IESL CEO Engineer Neela Besekara for supporting us to arrange this program with short notice, and his dedicated team, and all the members in the young members section who supported me to arrange this program. And I should thank Dr. Kamal Karunananda. He accepted our invitation with his busy schedule to share his knowledge and experience in research, especially the ethics side. So thank you very much, Dr. Kamal, for your time allocated for us. And we will going to have the last session of this discussion in tomorrow. Dr. Akila Vijayathu will take the session. So we'll share all the information and documents of this session with you after completion of all the series, all the sessions. So thank you very much again. Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal, for your dedication and collaboration with us. So thank you very much, everyone who participated today and contributed today. So until we meet tomorrow, good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.